Ladies and gentlemen, you are dialed in to your favorite Alabama podcast on a Sunday night, the Bama Standard postseason show. Go ahead, hit that like and subscribe button, turn on all notifications. If you're with us in the live chat, let's get rowdy. I want to know what your thoughts are. We got some controversial topics tonight. We're going to need to hear from you. If you're watching the replay, show us that love in the comment section as well. I got an all-star crew tonight. Before I introduce them, we are brought to you by Workspace Solutions and Oakmont Financial Partners. I'm your host, Justin Riley. With me, as always, the living legend, Coach Smook, and the senior analyst of Touchdown Alabama Magazine, the busiest man in Alabama football, Stephen M. Smith. What's going on, fellas?
What's up? What's up? Roll Tide, fellas.
Man, I'm good, man. It's the first time I'm not making store runs.
Well, I was hoping when you were at Walmart last week that you were able to grab us a little bit of a sponsorship or whatnot. I heard.
You know what? I actually ran by Bacardi Drink. So Bacardi, drink responsibly.
I heard you got taken down by security because you were trying to smuggle out some Arbor Mist. Is that right?
Some Arbor Mist or something like that.
Look, if I did a terrible job because little kid ratted me out.
Oh
man.
Slipping.
Man, hate a snitch, man. Can't stand that.
I don't care if they are three.
But you're okay. Glad to see that you're back again and had a full week of reporting this past week. So it worked out pretty well. We got that sponsor. Maybe we'll see as time rolls on.
But guys, I mean, this week, the NFL Combine's been crazy, and I know people are wanting to talk about Bryce Young as expected. I mean, he did come in 5'10" and 1/8 of an inch, so he's not 5'2", as some folks thought he was. So he is 5'10".
Like he was an Oompa Loompa.
Now, the 204 pounds was really good. It shows that he can put some weight. He can put some weight on his frame. Now, can he hold that to pro day? It's the big thing, but I was very impressed with him in team interviews. Like, he lit it up at the whiteboard. He lit it up talking to people, of course. I mean, we all watched his tape. We know the tape. In 2 years as a starter, over 8,000 passing yards, 79 touchdowns, can make any throw from any arm angle. So if you really want to know Bryce Young, just pop that tape in the last 2 years of Bama. That'll tell you that right there. But I thought the guy that stood out just the most to me, the Swiss Army knife, Brian Branch. I mean, that kid, Swiss Army knife. I mean, ran a 4.58. The dude, I think he had a 34.5-inch vert. The kid just in the on field, just silk smooth. I mean, he may not run straight line speed, but you put him on a field, he'll go get it. The brother goes and gets it. And the comparisons to Minka Fitzpatrick, to Troy Polamalu, to Earl Thomas, to whoever you want to compare him to. I mean, all the comparisons are right there. I mean, the kid's a flat baller. We knew after the Sugar Bowl that he would be, a first-round guy. But after the combine, between picks 15 and 20, he comes off the board right there. And Pittsburgh has the 17th overall pick. He's already said it's a dream come true to play with Minka.
Right.
Lance Zierlein of NFL.com compared him to Minka. So Pittsburgh, you got the 17th pick. Make it happen.
Yeah. And y'all are right on the head, man. Brian Branch. Another guy, Jahmyr Gibbs, man, just solidifying that he's probably the top back in the draft, man. And it's quiet. It's crazy how quiet it is because Bryce Young gets a lot of the credit for a lot of what Alabama, the success that our offense saw, the struggle and the type of success that we had to endure through. But people forget Jahmyr Gibbs was his relief. Every big play, most of Bryce's big plays was Jahmyr Gibbs.
I'm just saying, Coach Smoke, Gibbs, 44 catches, led the whole receiver room.
Yes.
Here's the kicker. Since 1999, when electronic timing happened in the 40-yard dash, Gibbs has the 8th fastest 40 time.
Yes.
The 8th.
He's
in the top 10 all time.
And you think about these guys that's coming out before him, that's running 4.4s, 4.3s that get in the league. And I mean, I think Gibbs just did just enough to say, I could get out here and show you that I'm one of the best.
Now, think about this, though. He was just 0.04 of a second behind Devon Achane.
Right.
So could you imagine if Gibbs would have really had some go-go jets, and that dude would have ran like a 4.2.
But you got to think he ran to be in it at the combine. That's an uncomfortable situation. You know, that's why a lot of guys skip on the combine. They show up, they do the interviews, they make the appearances, they show that they're healthy, that type of thing, and then they wait to pro day because they're back in their facilities where they're able to work out at every day. They're comfortable. They're able to just go through the motions, and most of them they do combine workouts. 2 to 3 times a week. So you got a guy like Jahmyr Gibbs. He just shows up. He's like, okay, 4.36 here, but show up to pro day. I'll give you the 4.29. I'll give you the 4.28.
What, Coach Smoke, he may give me a 4.28 because I will be at pro day.
You got to think, Steven. Jahmyr Gibbs, the ESPN top end speed, he topped out at 23.7 miles per hour or 24. It was 24.7. That's what it was. 24. You got a guy that's moving as fast as your school zone speed limit. Like, he's about to get a ticket in the school zone. So like let's just embrace that, man. Jahmyr Gibbs by far, and once he gets to showcase the hands and be able to see that and just being comfortable taking the passes from Bryce Young, Bryce Young's going to be throwing the passes for him, or even Jalen Milroe, because we know that him and Jalen Milroe had a very different bond. You know what I'm saying? They always talk about this. So it's one of those things where you see his stock just growing, man. So that would be my pick for the bright spot for us, man.
I was actually shocked going back to Brian Branch, Stephen, that he actually posted a 4.58 because I remember in that game where he had a pick 6. He looked a lot faster than a 4.58. But then again, like as Jimmy Ewan mentions right here, there's clock speed and there's game speed. There's a huge difference. And if those who haven't played football before don't understand that, there is a great difference. But to piggyback off of Jahmyr Gibbs.
He's getting bigger too, dude. He put on some weight too.
Yeah. Jahmyr Gibbs, he was one of the guys that stood out to me the most and is talked about the least. As far as his times go, unofficial times, this first round was 4.440, and then the second round 4.36, as Coach Smoot mentioned. But actually, if you go to his Instagram right now, he actually posted the correct time as being a 4.23. So the man's flying. So,
I'm going to say this about Gibbs, and I understand the Alvin Kamara comps out there, and rightfully so. The New England Patriots.
Wow.
Here's a shot right here, New England. Here's a shot right here. New England, you got Bill O'Brien. Here's Gibbs. Here it is, New England. Give Mac Jones as much help as you possibly can. I mean,
the plethora.
You worked out Slade Bolden. If somebody just has to take Bill Belichick and throw him in a dumpster for the draft, don't let Bill Belichick draft. Don't do it.
Lock him in a closet.
Don't do it.
Because he's on defense.
Give Mac some help.
Right.
We saw when Mac had Josh McDaniels set franchise rookie records. Last year, they had Matt Patricia, who doesn't know a lick of offense, call the offense, and that's where the problems ensued. Now you have Billy O'Brien back in there. Get Mac help.
Yeah, and he did mention in his interviews that the strong connection with Bill O'Brien, along with Mark Ingram and Brian Robinson Jr. So you got to think that's got to be tugging at the heartstrings of a Bill O'Brien. As far as his interviews, he excelled in answering all the questions. One thing I found interesting is when he was asked who he would prefer to play with, he mentioned the Dallas Cowboys for the opportunity to play with Zeke Elliott and Tony Pollard. On the field, great route tree, great hands, and he actually don't want to be considered just being a running back. He wants to be considered as a playmaker to show his versatility, which I dare anyone else in this draft class to compare to his versatility.
I'll say this. When Gibbs made that statement, he's telling all fantasy owners, put me as a flex.
Yeah, a flex.
Don't make me a running back. Put me as a flex, and I'll make you some money.
Marketing 101. When you're talking about a guy that's taking – and Coach Saban spoke on this, providing those classes and the mentorship for guys to learn about the proper way to project their image using NIL to their advantage and not being taken advantage of, but actually using it and benefit from it. Gibbs is applying that with the statements and the type of interviews he's had, not only to go with the on-field product. This guy is setting this, like I said, guys, that's the one And I know a lot of people are overlooking him because he's just a quiet guy. He does the job, gets the job done. He's flashy on the field. He's not a flashy guy that's trying to be seen all the time. So it's one of those things where you get a guy with some value, just like Josh Jacobs. You know what I'm saying? Like Jacobs is a guy that came with some value. You know, when they drafted him, he surprised how high he got drafted because, you know, he was a quiet guy. But GM said, I see value. I see the value in this. The guy didn't have a lot of tread. He had a lot of tread on his tires because he wasn't a heavy running back. You know what I'm saying? He wasn't getting the bulk of the carries. He still was, you know, had just a lot to go for him and still had space to grow and was peaking, you know, hitting the peak at a level where he wasn't even, you know, getting the opportunities. So it's one of those things where you see Gibbs and you're like, man, okay, we have an opportunity to solidify a running back room with a guy that's not just a running back, but we don't have to go and spend extra money in the free agency to sign a veteran. We got a flex guy, like you said, you punt return, kick return. He can do it all, you know, and you can go and get him. I honestly believe if he slips to the second round, that's going to be like even more fuel to the fire for him.
I'm gonna say this, going back to Josh Jacobs, the Raiders better make a deal. I mean, I do not want next Tuesday to come and he's franchise tagged. He is too good to play on a $10 million tag tender. They need a deal. This dude won the NFL rushing title. You finally let go of Derek Carr. Give Josh Jacobs his money.
Give him his money. And you can go get a young QB. You got a young core in Las Vegas. You know,
I mean, the Raiders have the number 6 or 7 overall pick. Trade up, get it from the Bears. I mean, Ryan Poles of the Bears GM, he is holding all the cards right now. You got 6 teams that want that pick. And I mean, if the Atlanta Falcons trade up, good guy. I mean,
you know what? I would actually have some faith. I would. But yeah, guys, that's my pick. Jahmyr Gibbs, definitely one that's really climbing the charts right now for me.
One guy that stood out to me was Jordan Battle. I know he didn't have the kind of a year that most expected. Actually, I felt like if he would have came out this past draft, he probably would have been a solid first-round guy. But I feel like this year with the dysfunction all over the defensive side of the ball, he was limited and his abilities were kind of dampened, as it were. You know, I found that he compared a lot to what Xavier McKinney went through his final year at Alabama, where he kind of had to make up for everything and where areas were lacking, he overcompensated. And it's funny is that when he was in interviews yesterday, he was talking about how Xavier McKinney was the guy that was the brother who helped him develop, helped him grow, helped him get in that playbook and really mature. And he would love the opportunity to possibly play for him with the Giants. But also he did not shy away from saying wants to play for the hometown Dolphins. Ran a 4.55, which is a great speed for safety. On the field drills, he killed it. I loved his ability just to turn his hip at the drop of a dime, and great closing speed. I really solidified his position and may still be a first round guy. I was impressed.
Yeah, go ahead, Steve.
I'm gonna say this because watching 3 of the 4 DBs in this combine. Of course, Eli Ricks did not go due to a grade 2 hamstring issue. He'll be ready to go for pro day. But watching Branch, Battle, and DeMarcco Hellams, I just can't help but to think the coaching was that bad. When you look at how these 3 perform, I mean, Jordan Battle 4.5 40, Brian Branch 4.58, DeMarcco Hellams 4.57. They all did work. They all made money. They all performed well. They all tested well. And I'm wondering, Charles Kelly, safeties coach, who's now at Colorado, Pete Golden, I know now at Ole Miss, but particularly Charles Kelly because he was over the safeties. Were you just in Tuscaloosa to collect a pension? What in the world? Because these 3 tested unbelievable at the combine, but last year, getting burnt bacon by Jalen Hyatt, getting burnt bacon by other receivers out on the field, like Charles Kelly, what were you doing?
Not only Charles Kelly, you got to think Pete Golden is the one that's devising the scheme. He's the one pulling the shots, not necessarily devising the scheme, but calling the shots. You know, we all know that it's all within Nick Saban's grand scheme, but he's entrusting his coordinators to call the shots. And you're not putting guys, you're putting guys in adverse situations every play that they're on the field. For when I seen Jordan Battle play that wheel route against Kansas State and get that pick on that first drive, that was the Jordan Battle I remember from his sophomore year. That's the Jordan Battle. That's the comfortable Jordan Battle I remember from his junior year. When he had a little bit more experience around him. And even not this past year, but last year, the year before last, when him and we had a 3 safety rotation with him, Wright, and Hellams. Those 3 guys rotating at the safeties. You seen Jordan Battle was our only consistent over the top safety that year. When Hellams and Wright were guys that were struggling, you didn't know what guy would show up which game, and Battle was able to maintain. And you wonder, like, in the grand scheme of things, how would Kirby Smart have adjusted those guys and put them in positions to broadcast their strengths, or put them in positions to make them be athletes. A lot of these guys that we recruited over the past 6-7 years in the secondary, these guys coming into college have displayed the ability to cover like one-on-one. Guys have displayed. Why on the college level can't we simplify a defensive scheme for these guys to exemplify that strength? I feel like Jordan Battle could guard Brock Bowers. I feel like he should be able to handle that assignment, a one-on-one assignment, not a dual assignment. But when things get tight and scheme is not working, let's play football. Let me put my best guy on this best guy, and let's see how it works out. Let's play that. And at the end of the day, Jordan Battle, he's going to win those matchups 7 to 8 times out of 10. You get what I'm saying? And you live with that with your safety and man coverage. And I like you said, Steven, I lean more towards the side of coaching staff and this whole grand scheme and the play calling of our former defensive coordinators.
Jordan Battle graded out at a 91.6 overall since 2021 as far in all of FBS amongst his position. Clearly the best guy on the field, put in impossible positions. You got to think if he gets in a system where he has a competent coach and he's also got guys around him that can just take that pressure off of him, just what his height is, his ceiling. He had a great interview with Mike Tomlin. He said he felt a great vibe, great connection. Imagine what those two could do, especially with a Mike Tomlin defensive mind. And then you also got some Bama power there with him, Levi Wallace and Minkah Fitzpatrick.
Right.
Man, you'll be able to see just how great, and I say the word great, Jordan Battle can be.
Right. I'm right there with you, man. I mean, you look at the talent that's having to get by, just based off of talent, not being able to produce the film because of the type of scheme they've been forced into these past 3 or 4 years. A lot of guys, even though they're still making it and going first round, and they're being slighted at basically, being head and shoulders above the rest of the crop. You got a guy like Bryce Young who should have had another, Heisman season, Heisman season easily. The amount of talent that was surrounded, and you had a offensive coordinator who just refused to get out of his own way. You got 3 running backs in that running back room that could have took the game over at any point in time if you just relied on your offensive line and let them get in a rhythm, and then let Bryce Young feed off of that. But you never, not once, you wait until Kansas State to finally wake up or Iron Bowl. Iron Bowl is finally when you woke up and want to use your run game. Come on.
There's a reason, Coach Smook, that I call him Booth O'Brien. There's a reason.
Right.
He's not Bill O'Brien. He's Booth O'Brien. Because when they show, and the crazy thing about it is, every time they showed him, he had his hat turned backwards and looking befuddled and confused at the same 5 plays in the play sheet.
Yeah, right.
And I'm like, Booth, could you flip the thing over? And then when he finally flips the thing over, he starts calling plays at work, and then he flips it back. I'm like, keep it flipped to the other side.
But then he flips it back and it's upside down, so he's really calling the wrong plays backwards.
And then he rubs like this hole underneath his chin.
Okay, next, please. We've turned the page, y'all. Look, we've turned the page.
Before we close out on this section, who were some other guys that stood out to you? For me, I think Byron Young showcased his ability.
Yes, sir.
He wasn't talked about as much as he should be, and I think he's a guy who may sneak into the first round. A guy that started developing late, but is showing that he is definitely one of the best at his position in the country and in this draft. So I was really excited to see him perform well.
I know a lot of people are gonna immediately say Will Anderson, and definitely Will Anderson
without question.
But to me, I thought sneakily Tyler Steen did pretty good, and I know Tyler Steen was most of a serviceable offensive lineman. He was not your Jonah Williams, Cam Robinson, Evan Neal. He wasn't one of those types of guys. But I mean, Tyler Steen, he did give you roughly a 30-inch vertical, which I didn't think he would give that. He gave you roughly a 9-foot 3-inch broad jump. I didn't think he was that explosive coming out. So he gave you those things. The 20-yard shuttle, he did do it in 4.59 seconds. He did finish among the top of his group in those three areas. Now, is this saying that Tyler Steen's a first rounder? Of course not. But third round, somebody will take a flyer right there.
Yeah.
Now, if he goes into his pro day and improves upon those numbers, late second, early third, somewhere in there, you could see Tyler Steen comes off the board. He does bring some value. The main thing with Tyler Steen is, can he hold himself against some of the better edge rushers in the NFL? We did see in the college game, Tyler Steen gave up 5 sacks, did give up 13, 14 quarterback pressure. So when he faces the better edge rushers, he can get taken off his feet. He can get taken off his feet. So
you caught him in the heels a lot.
Can he hold himself in the NFL? That's the big question for Steen. But some good things for him in the combine.
Yep. And then I just wanted to, before we move on, my response to the chat of the night, Chris Chapman, battle can't coverage. He's in the box safety. He's an in the box safety, only can cover in front of him in short route concepts. Brock too versatile overall for him and as a pass catching receiver. I'm gonna disagree with you because I've never seen Jordan Battle get beat in man coverage. I've seen Jordan Battle get beat on switch coverage when there's a stack receiver concept on this side and there's no clear direction of who's covering the short break or who's covering the deep break, who's covering the inside, who's covering the outside. I see a lot of confusion. That's when I see Jordan Battle look like a horrible safety. But when Jordan Battle knows his assignment, Jordan Battle's you're not beating Jordan Battle a lot. And he's proven that Jordan Battle saved us a lot in the red zone. People forget how many times Jordan Battle has caused a look to be checked down or either, pumped down because Jordan Battle's vision to break off and make a play. So I'm gonna disagree with you. I think his strong points, yes, I agree with you on the part where his strong points is short route concepts in the box. He's very, he loves contact. He's physical.
He's very good against the run. Very good in run support.
I think he'll thrive at the strong safety position at the next level. More of your my guy that he was with the Chargers, came out of Florida State. I can't remember his name.
Derwin James.
Yes, just same type of playing style, same type of physicality, same type of range. I give him a Derwin James type fit, and I feel like he's gonna get a little bit bigger too. That 220, 215, 220 range, and just kind of be that Swiss Army. I feel like him and Brian Branch end up being like the same style of player in the NFL ranks.
No doubt.
I feel like that also. I mean, I thought just Branch just seems more so of a free blitzing safety.
Mm-hmm.
He'll play lower third coverage. He'll track the ball, but then he'll also come off the hot blitz and just destroy you. So I thought that's Branch, but Battle can cover and track too, but Battle in that box and run support is lethal. I mean, he will come downhill and get you.
Right.
So let's switch gears to another topic, and actually, the reason what we're talking about is something that actually came up this past weekend at the combine. DeMarcco Hellams was interviewed, and one of the questions he was asked was, who did he think was going to be QB1 at Alabama come next fall? Well, his response generated a wildfire. Matter of fact, I'll read to you what he said. He was speaking about Ty Simpson. He can play in the pocket, but Ty has great speed that not a lot of people know about. He definitely has a little, I'd say, Pat Mahomes in him a little bit, the way he can extend plays and still look downfield with his eyes. And with that, the wildfire started, and people have already inaugurated him as QB1. Stephen, you said that Brian Branch had spoke about Ty Simpson. What was that Brian Branch said?
He said something along the same lines as DeMarcco Hellams. Brian Branch also included that we may see Simpson become something really great in the next year or so to come. So it's already setting up to be a big A-Day, a big spring practice. It's setting up to be another one of those Tua Jalen type deals. It's setting up to be another one of those Blake Sims, Jacob Coker type deals.
Yeah,
it is really setting up to be that way, because for the first time you don't have that proven quarterback back. So now it's a fight of who is that guy. And I mean, I'll say this: Tommy Reese, if Tommy Reese with this hire, if he can take Jalen Milroe and just make him, he don't have to be no Bryce Young, but just slightly, significantly better passer. Oh my gosh, the second coming of Mike Vick. I'm just saying. And then this is nuts, because you got the receivers. You have Kobe Prentice back, Isaiah Bond back, Shaz Preston, Kendrick Law, who popped off back in the season. This dude, Malik Benson, is going to be something nasty to watch. Like, the receivers are right there. You got to utilize the tight ends more, but man, Milroe and Simpson, this is going to be a fun spring. This spring is going to be insane.
And also, I think people are looking too much into what DeMarcco Hellams said and kind of missed what he actually said. He wasn't giving the shining endorsement that Ty Simpson was going to be the guy. He just said, okay, this is what this guy can do. He's shown some ability. This is what those abilities compare to. Patrick Mahomes comes right to his mind, and that's simply what he said. He wasn't saying that this guy is going to be the second coming at Alabama. He's just saying this is what this guy has to work with. He's impressive. Give him some time. He could be the next great quarterback, but Milroe is not out of the question, and people need to quit writing him off. Yeah, Steven, I agree with you. Give Tommy Reese some time.
I'm just saying, man. I'm gonna say this. You look at what Tommy Reese did at Notre Dame with Brandon Wimbush.
Yes.
Brandon Wimbush is of the same athletic frame as Milroe. Milroe a bit bigger, stronger, a bit faster, but Wimbush is of the same athletic frame. Tommy Reese took Brandon Wimbush now 30 total touchdowns with Brandon Wimbush. And Jalen Milroe is a lot more talented than Brandon Wimbush is.
Oh, yeah.
Then you also look at this. Tommy Reese took Ian Book from ground zero. Ian Book was a two-star, and took Ian Book and put that joke in the NFL.
Time out, Steve. Ian Book was a two-star with one athlete around him.
With one. So Jalen Milroe is a former four-star with several athletes around him. So you give this to Tommy, and keep in mind, folks, Tommy Reese played with deck chairs and lawn furniture at Notre Dame. Jesus. So now you give him 4- and 5-star Ferraris. Could Tommy Reese turn into a smaller version of Lane Kiffin with this offense?
Can I go?
Go ahead.
So all right, y'all. This is my breakdown on Ty Simpson, and I'm gonna be. Because I'm not sold. I feel like the guy can be our next Mac Jones. He needs one more year, sit behind the guy, become a lot more comfortable, continue to, earn that trust in the locker room, build that rapport. You got a group of guys that you came in with that you can just continue to build that chemistry with. Be this backup, be the just in case guy that's ready all the time. Be that guy. Push Milroe, because this is an opportunity for Tommy Reese. You get to see how Tommy Reese is going to experiment with Milroe. You get to see how where he's going to cut, how he likes to call the offense. You get to grow without having that extra pressure of performing. Milroe has to perform. Milroe knows he has to perform this year. He's already been thrown out into the fire. He wasn't what we expected, but he got the job done. He showed tremendous resiliency, you know, and some pros about Ty Simpson. You know, he has legit arm strength. I got my notes tonight. He got legit arm strength. Okay. And he has deceptive athleticism. I think we don't credit Ty Simpson enough for his athleticism. He's not fast by any means. He's not fast, but he's not slow either. I remember AJ McCann was just like that. And Greg McElroy too. You can recall, you know, two big plays or big plays and big moments where they both use their legs, but neither one of them are considered mobile quarterbacks. Ty Simpson is considered a dual threat quarterback. You know, so you got to give him that. I feel like just his ability to progress through the reads is what's limiting him. And we say Milroe has the same, but in the A-Day game, I seen progression with Milroe. I seen Milroe going through progressions in A-Day game. I didn't see that from Ty Simpson. You know, now you get into a real live action game where you got other ones on the other side and your offensive line is struggling, you know, in the midst of a season with Milroe, and you're throwing him into the fire and telling him to drop back and do something he's already not comfortable with. Yeah, he's going to look shaky. He's not going to be comfortable. So yeah, but look what he was able to do in the midst of that uncomfortable situation. He went back to what he was able to rely on. I don't trust Ty Simpson's legs. I don't trust Ty Simpson. I don't feel like Ty Simpson could break off a 60-yard run on anybody. He's not breaking off a 60-yard run on Central High School, Phoenix City. You get what I'm saying? Like, you get what I'm saying? Like that, and that's just being honest. You go and look at the type of talent that Ty Simpson played against in high school, and I'm not discounting anything. The kid is a great talent. He has a high ceiling, which is why I'm inclined to say sit another year, son. Continue to develop. You're not the biggest, you're not the strongest, you're not the fastest. The arm is there, the height is there. You know, everything that you want to continue to develop is there. But you have somebody in front of you that like, if you take Jalen Milroe and put him anywhere else in the SEC with any type of competent coordinator, Jalen Milroe is going to be in some talks. I don't care, and he's not going to have to do it all with his arm. And then so, and although Ty Simpson is willing to get the ball downfield, he's not accurate. He's not accurate when he's getting the ball downfield. If you go look at his highlight film from high school, that on 247 Sports, you see everything is extended breakdown plays. He's getting out of the pocket. It's not anything off of play action where he's stepping into a throw and just, you know, getting the guy in stride. And you look at, not discounting anything he's done, guys, but there you don't see, Ty Simpson didn't play not one D1 prospect his senior year. Not one D1 prospect on the defensive side of the ball did he have to face, and they made it to the second round of the playoffs in Tennessee. So he's not acclimated to playing that type of talent, and it showed in the A-Day game. He made a few plays, he made a few good passes, but you're playing against third and fourth string guys, you know. And when the play broke down, Ty Simpson, his eyes dropped to the ground, and that's a big no for me when you're dealing with offensive line that's coming back, and guys are having to fill voice now. So you got to have a guy that's able to create post play. And Milroe's my guy, man. Ty Simpson, I feel like he can be great. I feel like he will be. But this season, and I'm just saying based off of what we're able to judge off up to now, based off of what's been put on film and what's the product now, what's in front of us right now, Milroe's the guy right now. I mean, easily.
And I think Smoke, how this offensive line is going to set up for next season, I think it plays into Milroe. Just due to, if you look at how this offensive line gets set up here, you return J.C. Latham, which I think he's going to be at left tackle. I think he's going to move over to left tackle. Tyler Booker is left guard. He solidified that. I think center will be Seth McLaughlin. Right guard is going to be very interesting. I think the freshman Caden Proctor starts there.
Right.
We've seen Nick Saban take tackles and start them as guards. We've seen it happen with Alex Netherwood. We've seen it with Evan Neal. So here we go, Caden Proctor. He will start off as a guard. I think right tackle will be Elijah Pritchett. Pritchett would have played last year if not for a pectoral muscle that he hurt in the weight training process last summer. So I think from left to right, you would have Latham, Booker. You have Latham, Booker, McLaughlin, Proctor, and Pritchett. And I think that offensive line,
that's solid.
That's solid for Milroe. That's very, very good for Milroe.
And you got to think Milroe's a left-handed QB. You got an aggressive backside protection with Pritchett and a young guy in Proctor. You're going to design offense for him to be able to throw off platform to cater to his strengths, so you can allow those guys to develop. That's what we've seen in the past with competent coordinators. You don't just scheme an offense because you think plays look good and it's going to work in this situation. You say, okay, this is what we have to work with on the front. Let's start in the trenches because we know we have to establish control there. All right, how can what can we scheme schematically? What can we do schematically to put our running backs in position to make an imprint early in the game so that we can open it up for our quarterback to have those 3.5 to 4, seconds to process information like we want him to. You get what I'm saying? Because that's where the great offensive mind starts. They always start in the trenches. So you got a guy like Milroe who can give you an extra cushion with that development part of your offense. You can see some great things happen.
And it says a lot about his football integrity, because with everything that going wrong around him during the game against Texas A&M, he didn't quit. And one of the biggest points of adversity he faced was an offensive coordinator he had zero confidence in. And because Bill O'Brien didn't give him confidence, he didn't have confidence in himself, but he didn't fold. And people are using or overusing that game as the be all, say all, and they're ready to toss him out the door. Yes, Simpson does have all the measurables. I'm not throwing him out the door either. As you guys have said, I feel like he needs more time to grow and progress. He's still green, but Milroe's got the experience, and everybody's so fixated about who has the better arm. If you want to look at that, okay, well, look at that. Milroe's got a great arm. He just needs some fine tuning, some fine tweaking. But the thing is, guys, quit looking for a guy who's just going to throw bombs every single down and using that as the measuring stick. Look at his ability. You give him to a Lane Kiffin, totally different player. He's going to coach to his strengths. And this is where Tommy Rees is going to look at him and be like, okay, I'm about to earn my paycheck. I'm probably going to get a bonus at the end of the season because what I'm about to do with you. He's going to go with his strengths. And as he grows and progresses within the offense, he'll be able to throw more his way. But folks, don't burn down the house if Milroe struggles the first 2 or 3 games here or there, because you can't accurately grade somebody based on that. You will see the true growth and progression probably about mid-season, and all of a sudden this light's going to come on, and boom.
Justin, you and I both know, man, and Coach Smoot knows this too. We all know by the first scrimmage of fall camp, and coach and the people come out. Milroe threw 2 picks in the first scrimmage. Oh, Ty Simpson, bow down.
Right.
It's over.
I promise you. But then they come out. Well, Jalen Milroe had 2 touchdowns, but Ty Simpson had 4. Ty had 4. Ty.
Yeah.
I told you he was it. Y'all didn't believe me.
But you know what's crazy? Jalen Milroe. This year is set up for Jalen Milroe, kind of like it was for Blake Sims. A transitional year.
Good point.
The schedule is favorable for him. You got a big game against Texas at home in week 2. You got your big game against, I want to say, let me pull the schedule up. I know we got Texas at home. But just those first 2 games, those games where you feel like those are the games where his confidence can be shaken early if he doesn't have success. And you got a guy in Jalen Milroe who's had to go through those moments. I don't want to put my faith in Ty Simpson in those moments right now. Not right now. Not with a new coordinator first year. Milroe has the locker room right now, and I feel like he has Ty Simpson. In a healthy competition, like it's supposed to be at Bama. But I think even he knows, like, yeah, I'm gonna go out here and compete, but hey, this is an opportunity for everybody in this room to grow. And if I can sit behind and watch this guy make the mistakes before me and I just learn from that, hey, this is my opportunity. And at the end of the day, that's what it comes down to. I know I had to do it as a freshman. It happened a little bit quicker for me my freshman year of college, thanks to injuries. Not saying thanks like I was glad, but thanks to injuries and things of that nature. But being in that locker room, not being eager to jump in front on the drills, trying to show coach that we're practicing. Coach ain't standing there right now. He wants to see if I can get out there when he's paying attention to what he needs to game plan for. If he throws me out there, can I do it at a high level? And Ty Simpson has the opportunity to do that and take advantage of things of that nature. And Jalen Milroe, like I said, he doesn't have that excuse no more. He doesn't have that space to grow and fill it out. This is his time to shine. This is your opportunity. You've been here. This is your third year. I think he was an early enrollee, so this is his fourth. Going to his fourth camp, I believe. So I mean, it's one of those things where Milroe, it's your time. No more excuses. Just like we said with Mac Jones. When we knew Mac Jones was about to be the guy, Mac Jones, this is your time. No more excuses.
Now, Smokey, at least you did it, man, at the college level. Like they threw me in at the high school level, trial by fire. I mean, I will forever. There are two high school moments. I'm gonna bring them both from the show that I will forever remember. So, one of them, my high school I graduated from, Francis Marion. We were playing Dallas County. It was my junior year. Dallas County, and one of our receivers gets hurt, high grade ankle sprain. He has to be helped off the field. Now I'm sitting here counting the lineup, only 10 guys out there. So I grab my helmet, I run on the field. The coach does not see me. I run completely on the field. And so no one gives me a route. I just give myself a route. I'm running a straight go. Yeah. So I put a move on the DB. I am wide open. So I'm looking at our quarterback. We lock eyes with each other. I'm like, throw me the ball. I'm open. The quarterback sees me open. We're literally talking to each other. He pulls the ball down, runs out of bounds. He gets hit out of bounds. And I go to him like, did you not see me? He's like, your job is a decoy.
Man.
Your job is a decoy. So that was one messed up play.
Right.
The other memory, but this was actually a great memory, was we played our rival Robert C. Hatch, and our starting defensive tackle gets hurt. So I don't know what our DC was thinking when he said, Steve, get into their D tackle. I'm 140 pounds. Are you trying to get me killed?
But you're wiry.
But they put me in there.
Why?
And I'd be dog, man. I split through the center and the left guard, just split right between them, hit the running back, bang, tackle the guy. The guy fumbled the ball. I'm at the bottom of the pile. No glasses now. Yeah. I'm at the bottom of the pile with the football, and the coach is like, did Steve make the tackle and recover the fumble? What in the world? I was that moment right there, greatest moment of my high school career. Right,
he still got that newspaper clip to this day.
He had that Rudy Notre Dame carry him off the field moment.
Yeah.
Oh man, but yeah, I mean it was. But I'm excited to see what Tommy Reese does with Milroe. Because look, I agree with you. When you look at, and there was a great comparison on your part to bring it back to Blake Sims, because that was a transitional moment. You brought in Lane Kiffin to give your offense a facelift. Nobody believed in Blake Sims. The word was Coker was going to be the guy. And Blake ends up taking over and had a single season record type of year in that transitioning period. So,
and then Coker followed up for the national championship.
Absolutely.
After being able to develop, and you look at Simpson, if you think about it, Simpson physically on his highlight film, he resembles a little bit of what we saw from Coker.
He does.
But Simpson has a better arm. His arm talent is, if we're talking about just arm talent over every aspect.
I remember when Coker couldn't throw a screen pass the first week of camp.
Right. But then you turn around, has to sit a year, has to learn and buy into the culture. First of all, don't be on this. I'm privy to this, or this is something that you have to give me. No, you're not privileged here. Earn it. And he earned it that next year. Still had to fight. Cooper Bateman was the competition.
I will never
Cooper Bateman,
the Ole Miss game, 2015.
We lost.
Why did we start Cooper Bateman? Why?
And he's still one of the greatest mysteries in college football.
And you got Jay Coker. I mean, Ty Simpson, the guy with the same type of opportunity, man. I think it works out perfect for him. I don't think he's buying into the hype with the media, with the competition noise, and none of that.
No. And of course, Ty's dad, is a coach at UT Martin. So
yeah,
Ty's grounded well.
Yeah, very, very.
Well, before we run out of time, I want to transition to our next topic. We'll definitely revisit this because there's a lot to talk about still. But the coaching staff continues to grow. More faces are being added. Of course, we've already talked about Robert Bala. Do what?
Just like church.
Just like church. Well, one of our deacons has returned, and that's Charlie Strong. He has come back to Tuscaloosa to serve as
Charlie. Come on,
to serve as an analyst. I can't help but feel like this is Saban's next chess piece, and returning that defense back to what is Saban ball. And you couldn't ask for a better guy. He knows what Saban wants. He's a dog himself. This does nothing but bolster that defense. I'm excited more about the defense coming this season, guys. Tell me how you feel about Charlie returning to the fold.
I'm very pumped up by this because we all know what Charlie Strong is in the SEC. We all know this. We know that not everybody's cut out to be a head coach, but when you talk about position coach, analyst, coordinator, Charlie Strong is one of the originals.
Man.
And also a guy that can motivate, a guy that can reach you right where you at. Charlie Strong can reach you right where you at. When you from Batesville, Arkansas, from that type of mud,
right.
Charlie can reach you directly right where you are. And keep in mind, as an analyst, he's going to have say in this game tape. He's going to have say in the game film. He's going to have say in the scheme, the strategies, the formations, the situations, when to blitz, when not to blitz, what moment to blitz. Are we blitzing A gap, B gap? Are we stunting through? Like, he's going to have a lot of say in those coaches meetings, in those team meetings, in those pre-prep meetings. He is going to have a lot of leeway in there. And not just him. You think about it, once this ruling's been made on Tennessee in regards to Jeremy Pruitt, Pruitt coming in here soon also as an analyst. I mean, can you imagine a room where it's Charlie Strong, it's Jeremy Pruitt, and then you got Kevin Steele? I mean, word. I mean, oh my goodness, what this defense can look like. But getting Charlie Strong back, who played a big role in the 2020 national championship team, that's a big deal.
Yeah, and I think I'm telling you guys, and Justin, we talked about it last week when Steven got off. These placement holder hires are not bad hires when you think about what's coming in behind it on the analyst side. And we know Saban uses his staff. We know we know Saban uses his staff. So you got guys like Charlie Strong, Hunt on your staff. That's not necessarily an on-field roles, but they're being put in positions where the thinking side of the game planning is being affected, and they're having direct contact with this side of the game. It allows those coaches that's on the field to develop that player-coach relationship that we know we've been yearning to be returned to that sideline on the Alabama sideline, especially on our defensive side. We need energy on the sideline for our defense. We have younger coaches on that sideline now that can provide that and can relate with this new generation of players. Not only that, but you got a guy in Charlie Strong who we know in the past he's been slighted for head coaching positions, well deserving of plenty opportunities that were better than what he got thrown into. Successful stint at Louisville, revived the whole overall look of that program.
Put Teddy Bridgewater on the map.
And just revived that, gave that hope. The reason why Louisville is even relevant now to the youth and the generation now is because of what Charlie Strong started. Because when he left it in good condition.
He did, and then he left a blueprint, and they were able to build on that. But I think that what happened at Texas has been unfairly tacked to his coaching resume.
That was unfair.
And that's what I was going to allude to.
He entered into an absolute dumpster fire where it was impossible for anybody to go in there and win, unless you're like a Nick Saban, which they tried. But only an elite coach, a GOAT, if you will, could go in there and right that ship. But there were so many problems going on at Texas that poor Charlie Strong just really had no chance.
He wasn't going to win from the get-go when you got every single booster and oil tycoon
control. Yes,
everything.
Charlie wasn't going to win from the get-go, and then he goes to South Florida, and that was an even bigger mess.
Yes,
I mean they had absolutely no players.
None.
They had absolutely
and you're
no
not
athletes.
recruiting. You're not out recruiting any Florida school at University of South Florida. I'm sorry,
you're not doing it. So I feel like having Charlie Strong back in Tuscaloosa is a major deal. But I think the latest support staff hire that Saban brought in, Hardin Harper, this is an ace. This is as quiet an ace I've ever seen. I mean, this is a dude that SEC footprint, played at Vanderbilt, but he's from the state of Alabama, a Birmingham native, played his high school ball at Carver High School in Montgomery.
Yeah.
Think about the pipeline he's about to get in recruiting. You look at Mac Wilson from Carver, Sean Dion Hamilton from Carver. You just pulled James Smith and Quay Russo from Carver. Hardin Harper played at Carver. He played right there. And Birmingham native, the cousin of Roman Harper. You look at that resource right there. I mean, the guy was a two-time captain at Vanderbilt, helped James Franklin the 2 9-4 seasons at Vandy. So there's the SEC footprint. He's been an outstanding recruiter. He's been outstanding in the front office personnel. He's been outstanding in scouting players out. Hardin Harper did some great work over there at Houston. This dude is going to be you look at this. You got Hardin Harper on the staff, Ha Clinton Diggs in the support staff, Josh Chapman in the support staff, Denzel Duvall in the support. Oh my gosh!
And it's crazy, Stephen. Like we say all the time with Coach Saban, there's always a method to the madness. I believe he knew if he pulled the trigger too early on a lot of these moves that he's making right now, it could have deterred a lot of contractual things. It could have swayed a lot of NCAA way they're going to weigh in on Jeremy Pruitt and how everything's developing with his situation. Recruiting. It could have swayed so many things, but he's strategically making moves. And like you said, I just want to go back with Harper and Strong being hired, man. You think about Strong, man, this guy, the extent of his involvement in the game planning aspect is going to be so important, Stephen. You got a guy like Harper who's going to come in with that same type of energy and experience to reinforce that. There's clearly a culture change, a culture shock being implemented at Alabama. And we all know that's all we've been missing more than anything, more than a coordinator calling the right plays, more than a penalty flag. We've been missing the passion on the field. We have been lacking consistently, and you can see the type of character, the guys that Coach Saban, these are not lackluster guys. These are high energy guys. Even with Robert Balla, you go look at him on the sideline from last season at Liberty. Like, the guy has high energy. He's a young guy he's a young guy. He has high energy. So
guys, peep this out here. So this is kind of what I've been hearing underground. It's not confirmed yet, but this is what I've been hearing underground. Now, of course, ESPN's Chris Lowe put out a story about Tennessee and what's going on there. The 4 guys that got hit with penalties, they were directly linked to what happened in Tennessee. The NCAA has nothing traced to Pruitt. They have absolutely nothing traced to Jeremy Pruitt whatsoever. And so Pruitt's fighting this, but nothing has been held to Pruitt's charge. A ruling could be made on this between now and April. If Pruitt leaves this unscathed, nothing on him, what I've been told underground, this could be a situation where Pruitt comes to Tuscaloosa. He could even end up being the linebackers coach, and Bama is under Pruitt.
Justin,
yeah,
was Stephen in here last week when I said?
I'm saying this woman here.
Or Bala can move to safeties.
But that could happen too.
That's where
he has experience, and
that's where he started.
You actually took my next point. I was going to say the exact same thing you were saying. Is it looks as though, based on my sources as well, JP may come out with a minimal punishment possible because they just can't find anything. And Tennessee tried to get him out of there and pin whatever they could to him. But the thing is, it's not working.
But then just here's the crazy thing. Even if it's the most minimum, Saban's going to come back with his team and be like, hey, even the minimum, is this just on Pruitt or does it follow Alabama? If it don't follow Alabama, my gosh.
We good. And then another thing is you got to think there's a difference when a guy gets pushed out and he's asking for money. And then when a guy gets pushed out and he's like, I just don't want to have nothing to do with what happened. You know, I came here, I tried to do my job. Y'all didn't like it. But this extra stuff, I'm not looking to get nothing from y'all. Just let me go. I want to move on. And when you got a guy talking like that, let me get somewhere where I can do what I love doing, which is coaching. In a place where I know my family's comfortable with, the place where I've seen the most success I've seen in my coaching career. Come on, man. He's not trying, and that's what the NCAA is looking at. So Tennessee, handle your problems. You're not gonna get a scapegoat. You're not gonna get that from Jeremy Pruitt. And come on, Jeremy. I please come to the inside linebacker room. Imagine Jeremy Pruitt having Lawson Blackshear.
Oh my gosh!
Oh my god,
dude,
Alexander.
I don't want to think about the amount of quarterbacks that have to say prayers before every game. Dealing with Jeremy Pruitt
and it won't do him any good. That's the thing about
Kevin Steele with Jeremy Pruitt in his ear. Yo, coach, my guy's ready. Send it to me. Give it to me, coach.
And then to have Robert Bala just start young with the safeties. Just have them start young.
Because you're gonna have the experience up front and the talent up front, the experience coaching with the talent up front to get guys in position to allow what Georgia's been able to do the past couple years, allow their secondary to develop throughout the season because they're not being put in crazy situations. They're getting pressure on the quarterback early, and these guys are available. They're able to develop. And so they can make big plays third and fourth quarter when the wide receivers been running routes all game, but not getting no pass attempts thrown at them. You know,
dude, I'm just saying, like, if Jeremy Pruitt leaves gets hit with nothing,
I feel like he is, Stephen. I think at this point, Tennessee's just trying to save face, and they're just going to settle, and they're going to say, go on about your business. We're done here, and we'll probably see Pruitt August 1st latest, but probably a lot sooner than that.
Dude, I'm just going to say this. Just let me go meet the Pruitt family and pack their bags and get their hotel set.
They already
you late. Bill O'Brien's house already, so he can
we already to move them in the Bill spot. You know what I'm saying?
Look, y'all to move to me. I'm just trying to get Miss Casey Pruitt a nice fruit basket. That's all I'm trying to do.
Get something from Archibald's instead.
We're not going to Piggly Wiggly to get the fruit. We're going to get the good fruit.
We're going to Piggly fruit.
Oh yeah, Edgar's, baby. Edgar's Bakery. Oh,
yes,
yeah.
We're going to go to Whole Foods and get that fruit.
Whole Foods, somebody. Smoke Man.
Shout out real quick to Smoke Man with a $5 super sticker. Thank you. We greatly appreciate that.
Old time, man.
But guys, we've already reached the end of our show. Before we head on out, first of all, everybody who's here tonight, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Let us know how you feel. If you're watching the replay, if you hadn't already hit that like and subscribe button, shame on you, but do it now. It's your chance. Leave us a great comment. But listen, before I close shop, as always, I like to pass it around the room for you guys to plug what you got. And I will start with Coach Mook and people in the audience. Go to where they belong. Subscribe to what they have going on. Show the support. Hey, they're family too. Anyway, Coach Mook, go ahead and pop yourself.
Man, hey, appreciate y'all boys for joining in again, man. This is always a good time, and just to hear the different perspectives and how we it's hard with us, man. We all have similar mindsets when it comes to the common sense and the knowledge of Alabama football and just overall how being a fan and loving what Alabama is doing is about. So I appreciate y'all for bringing that energy every week. And as always, y'all can go and follow me. Y'all see it at Coach Smoke right above. You know what I'm saying? I did that. You know what I'm saying? I did that. But yeah, I do a lot of gaming content. But the reaction videos, they're coming. They're being posted. And man, we got the Alabama Texas reaction video coming this Thursday. I want to do a live reaction video. I have one pre-recorded, but the editing is taking forever. So we're gonna do Alabama Texas live reaction video from last week. from last season. So y'all tune into that this Thursday. Check it out on my YouTube. If you go subscribe, turn on notifications, you'll see the time and everything. But yeah, other than that, man, Coach Smook on every platform. And yeah, man, I appreciate the support and love, and roll tide, everybody.
Yes, sir. Hey, Smoke Man has given us another $5 with a super sticker.
Making it
we
rain.
Greatly appreciate that.
Roll tide, Smoke.
Stephen Smith, man, tell the folks what you got on deck.
Man, tomorrow, in my own words, we are recapping the combine. I'm talking about the guys that really showed up and showed out, that impressed me. Some guys that surprised me a little bit out there in the combine. Getting fans set up for Pro Day. Pro Day's in the next couple of weeks. So a lot of the guys that did not do anything at the combine, they're going to show out there on Pro Day. I've got my credential ready to go out there and cover that. So getting the fans set for Pro Day. Also, may throw the fans some interesting perspective on, Bama basketball getting ready for the SEC tournament. They did grab the #1 seed. Right. I'm looking forward to seeing what Nate Oates does there. Hopefully we can win that outright and move on to this NCAA tournament. But a lot of combine talk tomorrow, and then setting guys up for spring practice, because the first day of spring practice is March 20th. So we're going to get back out there that freshly cut grass, and hopefully Coach Saban will not yell at me this year. Well, he never has, but there was that one year where I did get chewed out by Sal Sinceri, which I will remember that for the rest of my life. Sal is gone now, but I'll have that memory of me getting chewed out by Sal Sinceri. Which it was nothing that I was doing personally, intentionally. I was just recording the outside linebacker drill, and he was like, "Media!" I'm like, so snap. Media. Get out of my linebacker drill. Like, golly, man, Sal, chill out. Scared the daylights out of me.
Dang, man.
Yeah, man. Look, man. I'm still suffering some blood pressure from Sal.
I can understand that. You got a full-blooded Italian coming at you. Man, you don't know if he's connected to mafia or not.
Right. You gotta watch them.
You got Tony Soprano out there. But at the risk of, I'll touch on this briefly. At the risk of starting a tangent, that's why I said briefly. If our basketball team could just play 2 complete halves, we might win a lot more games convincingly and not have to rely on miracles and hot streaks to pull us out of bad situations. Didn't quite do it against A&M, but I need that midseason Bama team to come back.
They're back. They're back.
If the 3 ain't falling, just attack the basket.
They're back, guys. They're back. It's times. I believe Nate Oates pushed that effort, that A&M effort, as far as like those shots that they were putting up, because these guys were hot for like 11 games straight, man. When you get on streaks like that, you cool off. It is just natural as a shooter, as a team basketball. You cool off because people, they make good coaches make a extra focus on the small things to disrupt them and throw you off. And that's what A&M did early. And you won't see that. If we see A&M in the SEC tournament next week, we're blowing them out. I guarantee it.
Okay.
I guarantee it.
We'll definitely touch on that next week, because hopefully we'll be hoisting a championship next Sunday. But as far as the Bama Standard, we got a full week of shows this Tuesday night, 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern. Our regular time, the Bama Standard is back. Of course, one of my great co-hosts is with us right now. Our guest will be former Alabama linebacker Darren Mustin, a guy who transferred in from Middle Tennessee State, and many people gave him a whole lot of belief coming in that he would contribute, but he ended up being a starter on Nick Saban's first team when he got to Alabama. But more importantly, he was a starter for Kevin Steele. So he's going to give us a lot of insight as to what it was like to play under Kevin Steele and what Bama fans need to be excited about coming into this season. So be on the lookout for that. Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Central, the final whistle with Matt Caddell, Chris James, and Dan James will be back previewing all things Crimson Tide, not just football. We'll talk a little bit about the combine as well. Then Wednesday night, the developmental focus points with Bo Scarborough, Blake Sims, Christian Jones, and Trent Richardson. Their topic will be how social media has affected players and is causing quite a disruption. So definitely tune into that. If you got a young athlete at home with you, have them tune in to listen to the OGs talk about some things. But that is going to do it for us. We greatly appreciate everyone for tuning in on a Sunday night and making it the number one Sunday night show. You have something, Steven?
Oh no, man! I'm just, man, dude. I enjoy just watching Blake Sims and his mom talk about, from the parents' perspective of Alabama football.
Right.
If you missed that show last week, please go back and watch. He's talking about the developmental focus point. Blake Sims' mom was the guest, and she was able to tell her side, the parent side, which isn't really publicized, during the whole recruiting process, playing at Division I school. It's something worth watching. Definitely go back and check that out. But that's going to do it for all of us. Thank you again to everyone. Good night and roll Tide.
Roll Tide,
man. Roll Tide, man.